to get the results you want. Not all prayers are answered. Everyone knows that. Skeptics see this as evidence that prayer does not work. What they overlook is that for prayer to work, it must be used effectively with a clear understanding of its scientific basis. Only then can we know why a particular prayer was not effective and arrive at a practical method to make it more effective. What if you find your prayers are not answered as you would like? What then? You must understand the principal reasons for such a failure. These are lack of confidence and too much effort. Many people block answer to their prayers by failing to fully comprehend the workings of their subconscious mind. When you know how your mind functions, you gain a measure of confidence. You must remember that whenever your subconscious mind accepts an idea, it immediately begins to execute it. It uses all its mighty resources to that end. It mobilizes all the mental and spiritual laws of your deeper mind. This law is true for good ideas, but it holds true for bad ideas as well. Consequently, if you use your subconscious mind negatively, it brings trouble, failure, and confusion. When you use it constructively, it brings guidance, freedom, and peace of mind. The right answer is inevitable when your thoughts are positive, constructive, and loving. From this, it is obvious that the only thing you have to do in order to overcome failure is to get your subconscious to accept your idea or request. Feel its reality now, and the law of your mind will do the rest. Turn over your request with faith and confidence, and your subconscious will take over and answer for it. Anytime you try to force your subconscious mind to do something for you, you will fail. The results you want will become more distant instead of closer. Your subconscious mind does not respond to mental cohesion. It responds to your faith or conscious mind acceptance. Your failure to get results also be a consequence of mentally making some statements as things are getting worse. I will never get an answer. I see no way out. It is hopeless. I don't know what to do. I am all mixed up. When you use such statements, you get no response or cooperation from your subconscious mind. Like a soldier marking time, you go neither forward nor backward. In other words, you don't get anywhere. Imagine that you got into a taxi and gave the driver a half dozen different directions. He would become hopelessly confused. He might refuse to take you anywhere. Even if he tried to follow your instructions, chances are he would not be able to. Where you would end up is anybody's guess. It is the same when working with the enormous powers of your subconscious mind. You must have a clear cut idea in your mind. You must arrive at the definite decision that there is a way out, a solution to the vexing problem in sickness. Only the infinite intelligence within your subconscious knows the answer. When you come to a clear cut conclusion in your conscious mind, your mind is then made up, and according to your belief, is it done unto you? Easy does it. A homeowner whose furnace broke down during a bitter cold snap called a repairman. The repairman came at once. Within half an hour, the furnace was working again. The repairman then gave the homeowner a bill of $30. What? The outraged homeowner exclaimed, "It took you no time at all. All you did was replace one small part. How can you have the nerve to charge me $30 for a little gizmo? That can't be more than $5. The repairman shrugged. "I charged you only $2 for the broken part," he said. "That's what I had to pay for it." The homeowner waved the bill in his face. $2, he yelled. "This is $30. "That's right," the repairman said. "The other $28 is for knowing what was wrong and how to fix it." Your subconscious mind is the master mechanic, the all wise one. It knows the ways and means of healing any organ of your body. Decree health, and your subconscious will establish it. But relaxation is the key. Easy does it. Do not let yourself bogged down in thinking about details and means. Know what the end result will be. Get the feel of the happy solution to your problem, whether it is health, finances, or personal relationships. Remember how you felt after you recovered from a serious illness. Bear in mind that your feeling is the touchstone of all subconscious demonstration. Your new idea must be felt subjectively in a finished state, felt not as something that may come to pass in the future, but as something that is actually coming to pass at this moment. Use imagination, not willpower. Resisting the powers of your subconscious mind is not like pushing against as obstacle. Working harder does not lead to better results. Use no willpower. Instead, visualize the end and the state of freedom it produces. You will find your intellect trying to get in the way, trying to find ways to solve the problem and impose those ways on your subconscious. Resist this. Put away your intellectual problem solving skills. Persist in maintaining a simple, childlike, miracle making faith. Picture yourself without the element or problem. Imagine the emotional gratification of the freedom state you seek. Cut out all red tape from the process. The simply way is the best. How disciplined imagination works wonders. A wonderful way to get a response from your subconscious mind is through disciplined or scientific imagination. As we have seen, the subconscious mind is the architect and builder of the body. It controls all your vital functions. The Bible says, "Whatever ye shall ask in prayer, believing ye shall receive." To believe is to accept something as true. Live in the state of being it. As you sustain this mode, you shall experience the joy of the answered prayer. The three steps to success in prayer. Successful prayer requires three basic steps. Number one, acknowledge or admit the problem. Number two, turn the problem over to the subconscious mind, which alone knows the most effective solution or way out. Number three, rest with a sense of deep conviction that it is done. Doubts and hesitations only weaken your prayer. Do not say you to yourself, "I wish I could be healed," or "I hope this works." Your feeling about the work to be done sets the tone. Money is yours. Know that health is yours. You become effective by becoming a vehicle for the infinite healing power of the subconscious mind. Pass on the idea of health to your subconscious mind with complete conviction. Then relax. Give yourself over to its power. Say to the condition and circumstance, "This too shall pass." Through relaxation and conviction, you impregnate your subconscious mind. This enables the kinetic energy behind the idea to take over and bring it into concrete realization. why you may get the opposite of what you pray for. Emile Coyle was a celebrated French psychologist whose lectures gained him many admirers and followers in the United States. One of his important insights was this: when your desires and imagination are in conflict, your imagination invariably gains the day. He referred to this as the law of reverse effort. Suppose you were asked to walk along a narrow plank that was resting on the floor. You would do it easily without question. But now, suppose the same plank were 20 feet up, stretching between two walks. Would you walk it? Could you? Probably not. Your desire to walk the length of the plank would come into conflict with your imagination. You would imagine yourself toppling off the plank and falling a long way to the ground. You might very much want to walk across the plank, but your fear of falling would keep you from being able to do it. The more effort you put into conquering your imagination, praising it, the greater strength it is given to the dominant idea of falling. The thought, I will use my willpower to overcome my failure, reinforces the thought of failure. Mental effort often leads to self defeat, creating the opposite of what is desired. To focus on the need to exert willpower is to emphasize the condition of powerlessness. It is like deciding that you will do all you cannot do. Think of a green hippopotamus. The decision makes the idea of a green hippo dominate the mind, and the subconscious always responds more to the dominant idea. Your subconscious will accept longer of two contradictory propositions. Maybe you find yourself thinking, I want a healing. Why can't I get it? I trying so hard. Why don't I get result? I must force myself to pray harder. I must use all the willpower I have. You must realize where your error lies. You are trying too hard. Never try to compel the subconscious mind to accept your idea by exercising willpower. Such attempts are doomed to failure. All too often, you end up getting the opposite of what you prayed for. The effortless way is better. Have you ever had something like this happen to you? You have to take an examination of some kind. You have put in a lot of time studying and reviewing the material. You feel as if you know it well. But when you face a blank exam page, you find that your mind is even more blank. All your knowledge of the subject has deserted you. You can't recall a single relevant thought. You grit your teeth and summon all the power of your will. But the harder you try, the further the knowledge seems to flee. Frustrated, you leave the examination room. The mental pressure eases. Suddenly, the answers you were hunting for desperately a few minutes ago flow tantalizingly back into your mind. You told yourself you knew the material, and sure enough, you did, but not when you needed to. The mistake you made was to try to force yourself to remember. By the law of reversed or effort, led not to success but to failure. What you got was the opposite of what you asked or prayed for. The conflict of desire and imagination must be resolved. To use mental force or willpower is to suppose that there is opposition, but the act of imagining opposition creates opposition. If your attention is focused on the obstacles to obtaining what you desire, it is no longer concentrating on the means to obtain your desire. In the Bible, it is said, if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. Who are these two who are spoken of? They stand for the harmonious union or agreement between your conscious and subconscious on any idea, desire, or mental image. When there is no longer any quarrel between the different parts of your mind, your prayer will be answered. The two agreeing may also be represented as you and your desire, your thought and feeling, your idea and emotion, your desire and imagination. You avoid all conflict between your desires and imagination by entering into a drowsy, sleepy state that brings all effort to a minimum. The conscious mind is submerged to impregnate your subconscious is just prior to sleep. The reason for this is that the highest degree of outcropping of the subconscious occurs just before going to sleep and just after we awaken. In this state, the negative thoughts and imagery that tend to neutralize your desire and so prevent acceptance by your subconscious mind no longer present themselves. When you imagine the reality of the fulfilled desire and feel the thrill of accomplishment your subconscious brings about the realization of your desire. A great many people solve all their dilemmas and problems by the play of their controlled, directed, and disciplined imagination. They know that whatever they imagine and feel as true will and must come to pass. A young woman named Shara G came to me close to despair. She was involved in a lengthy, complicated lawsuit that had been thrown one postponement after another, with no end in sight. Her deepest desire was for a harmonious solution to the suit. Her mental imagery, however, was full of failure, loss, bankruptcy, and poverty. The result was just as Koi would have predicted. Her imagination prevailed over her desire, and the suit dragged on and on. At my suggestion, Shara put herself into a sleepy, drowsy state each night at bedtime, then began to imagine the best possible ending to her problem. She put herself into a state of feeling it to the best of her ability. She knew that the image in her mind had to agree with her heart's desire. As she became drowsy, she began to imagine as vividly as possible a meeting with her lawyer after the lawsuit was settled. She heard herself asking him questions about the outcome and listening to his explanation. She heard him telling her over and over again, the case has been settled out of court. This is perfectly harmonious solution. During the day, when fear thoughts came into her mind, Shara would run her mental videotape of the meeting with her lawyer, complete with words and gestures. She imagined his smile, his mannerism, the sound of his voice, the specific words he used. She did this so often, so faithfully, that her fears were counteracted before she even knew they had tried to come into her mind. At the end of a few weeks, her attorney called her. He confirmed what she had been imagining and feeling as true. The lawsuit was settled, and she knew that settlement was one she could accept as harmonious. This is really what the psalmist meant when he wrote, let the words of my mouth, your thoughts and mental images, and the meditations of my heart, your feeling, nature, emotion, be acceptable in the thy sight, O Lord, the law of your subconscious mind, my strength and my redeemer, the power and wisdom of your subconscious mind that can redeem you for sickness, bondage, and misery. Ideas worth recalling. Mental caution or too much effort show anxiety and fear that block your answer. Easy does it. When your mind is relaxed and you accept an idea, your subconscious goes to work. Execute the idea. Think the plan independently of traditional methods. Know that there is always an answer and solution to every problem. Do not be overly concerned with the beating of your heart, with the breathing of your lungs, or the function of any organ of your body. Lean heavily upon your subconscious and proclaim frequently that diving right action is taking place. The feeling of health produces health. The feeling of wealth produces wealth. How do you feel? Imagination is your most powerful faculty. Imagine what is lovely and of good report. You are what you imagine yourself to be. You avoid conflict between your conscious and subconscious in the sleepy state. Imagine the fulfillment of your desire over and over again prior to sleep. Sleep in peace and wake in joy.